Why is reading important?
Because if you can't read, you can't do anything. If you're signing a contract, they might say you're getting 20%, and they're getting 80% of your money. If you can't read the signs to go to. If you got a GPS, you can't read the streets. Well, they can't say it, but still, reading, you need it. It's the most important thing you need in life. Without reading, you can't do anything.
We have a problem in 612 with kids having significant reading difficulties.
These are students that oftentimes do not want people to know what their actual reading abilities are.
We knew that we had to have some sort of bridge between what they were doing in the younger grades and what we were doing in the older grades, and we really are just filling in those gaps.
We didn't have kind of a program in place in the district that would benefit the kids as well as Language Live has, especially with the gaps that they had.
Language Live has been a part of the district as a tutorial model. In September, I joined the district offices to help implement Language Live as core replacement for our middle school.
Author's purpose.
And with that, it was a really big lift.
Persuade to entertain.
I didn't want to pull kids out and just have a straight phonics or foundational skills intervention. I really wanted them to have an integrated experience and a comprehensive intervention. I think it's one of the few programs that addresses both those foundational skills and some more complex texts in a really highly scaffolded way.
The very beginning of Language Live, like level 1, unit 1, starts very, very low because it's trying to target all the possibilities of things that were missed in the kids' earlier years of education.
Having the ability to have the word training where everybody's on the computer, that people don't necessarily know what level they're at.
It privatizes some of those struggles around foundational skills, which for a lot of our kids, especially at the middle level, they don't want that public.
We know the word training will fill that need for the phonics, the fluency, and yet we still need to make sure that students are getting adequate vocabulary, comprehension, and grammar instruction. And Language Live does that.
Take your books at a voice level 0, back to the table, please. The rest of you get your laptops out, logging into Language Live. Because they were engaged in the word training, I was like, okay, now I can really do some intense teaching in these small groups. Why are they hiding out in the church?
Because they just killed somebody.
Yeah, who are they hiding from?
The
police. Very good. Very good.
Language Live has given them confidence. In the beginning of the year, their very first writing assignment, we had to tackle it together. They felt overwhelmed, defeated, didn't know where to start. And as you can see, like today, they're writing on their own and they're confident in their writing. It helps dissect the text so that they have a full comprehension. It helps them with their grammar, which is a huge struggle for most of my kids.
Yeah, I feel like I'm improving a lot, like sounding out words faster and reading more fluent and not like a robot. Now I could stand out and read a whole book in front of the class if I wanted to.
Last year was my first year that I was able to teach a 90-minute class, that it was actually done the way it should be done, and it was by far the year I showed the most progress with my students.
We started in September, and December we took our STAR assessment for the second time. And in 3 months, I had over 12 kids move up over a year worth of growth. It was the first time that I saw that much progress in that short a time.
So we just did our STAR testing, and I have kids that started at a 5th grade reading level, and they're up to 7th. So it's working.
Someone tell me, why do authors write things? What are the reasons that they write? Give me one.
Secondary teachers come to the table with this love for literature, this vision of what their job is as a teacher is to teach English and to teach literature, and then they come to the table and they've got kids who they will readily tell me struggle to engage with that Tier 1 instruction, and I've been hearing this in my position for decades now.
You could put that for multiple meanings. I was never taught as a reading teacher. None of my schooling incorporated teaching kids how to read.
You see the best practices implemented in different programs if you've been around education a while, but Language Live really does incorporate them together, and it scaffolds it in a way for teachers, even if you don't have that background, that you can still make a difference in your instruction with students.
We know that we have students in grades 3 through 12 that need significant reading intervention, so we are trying to pay a lot of attention to that. At the same time, if we don't fix the K2 instructional problem, we'll just continue to have the need for secondary reading interventions. So we have embarked on a pretty extensive early literacy initiative using LETRS as our primary tool. You know, the language life training that we get is great, and it really does teach the program, but it does not teach the content knowledge that's really necessary.
We are still working through some of the kinks, but the kinks really are in our teachers' background knowledge around foundational skills.
How many? 4.
So I have 2 certified language life trainers who came and got TOT'd. They are also LETRS TOTs.
I'm a LETRS trainer for 1 through 3. We have district PD sessions where all the language life teachers come together and we pick an aspect of the program in order to dive deeper into it.
Having those trainers who have that content knowledge that they can infuse into the language life training so that the teachers not only understand the program, but they understand the why behind the program and why certain things work. LETRS has been a huge boost for us in terms of building content knowledge.
Because at middle school things are so choppy and we're a 45-minute block here and a 45-minute block here, and it's almost like you have this little home that you call Language Live, and the kids are in here for 90 minutes and
The first time or the second?
they know that they're working on an area
So that brings us
that they're deficient in or that they know that they need work on. And you see the learning happening.
Reading is more easier for me now because I can understand the words and I can find interesting books that I'll get into.
I started developing and my fluency just went out the roof. I was just doing good.
The things that I really didn't understand, I started to understand more this year.
If you can move these kids so when they go to high school, they don't feel so far gone, you have literally changed the trajectory of their lives. Like you have potentially reduced crime, reduced poverty at the least, if teachers just use this intervention and really pour their heart into it and move these kids.